Okay, welcome to the explainer. Look, if you're running a growing digital service business, you already know that scaling without literally breaking your team is, well, it's the ultimate puzzle, right? It's not just about winning more clients, it's about actually figuring out how to deliver the work efficiently once you've won them. So today, we're diving into some incredibly fascinating insights from the team at Viral Chili. We're talking about decoupling to scale through white label WordPress development. We're going to explore how completely removing those technical bottlenecks can absolutely transform your agency's operational capacity. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. So, what actually happens when your agency hits a strict ceiling? According to the research, pretty much every growing agency eventually hits this wall. You know the feeling. Your sales pipeline is absolutely full, clients are eager, but your operational capacity acts as this strict, totally unforgiving ceiling. Now, the traditional kind of knee-jerk reaction when you hit this bottleneck is just to hire more local developers, right? But here's the reality check. Doing that adds massive fixed liabilities to your balance sheet. Suddenly, you're dealing with management friction, recruitment risks, and the really heavy burden of paying a full-time engineering team during those inevitably slow months. Honestly, it's a huge financial risk that often ends up stifling the exact growth you were trying to support in the first place.
And this happens because, as agency leadership quickly figures out, there is just a massive difference between these two columns. Selling a creative strategy, the vision, the branding, the big high-level marketing plan, is a completely different beast than actually executing the underlying technical framework. The art of strategy is fluid, it's conceptual, but the friction of back-end engineering, that is rigid and it is complex. When you try to force your strategic team to handle technical execution, you're just creating a massive bottleneck. It slows down delivery, and worse, it drastically eats into your profit margins. So how do we actually fix this? Well, we pivot to what Viral Chili calls the white label solution.
Section 1. The White Label Solution. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that true operational efficiency requires a fundamental shift. You have to decouple your client management from the actual hands-on technical execution. By transitioning to professional white label WordPress development, you literally transform technical development from a liability into a highly scalable commercial asset. What Viral Chili's framework shows us here is how universally this concept applies across 7 totally distinct business models. Whether it's design studios needing flawless, pixel-perfect execution, or SEO firms needing really deep structural code changes. Paid media teams need super agile landing pages, content agencies want to build full platforms for their writing, PR firms need servers that absolutely will not crash during a massive traffic spike, IT consultants need a clean visual front end for their security setups, and fractional CMOs, they need a way to actually fulfill all the brilliant strategies they recommend. Every single one of these models unlocks a unique advantage through a back-end partnership.
Section 2. Creatives, copywriters, and content. All right, let's break these down into 2 main groups so we can really grasp the impact here. First up, the businesses that thrive on artistry, messaging, and narrative. Look, for a pure play brand or graphic design studio, forcing a creative specialist to sit down and write clean code or configure a server, it's just a recipe for unpolished results and total frustration. But partnering with a dedicated back-end group like Viral Chili protects your creative focus entirely. You get to keep total control over the user experience and, most importantly, the client relationship. For content agencies, this means you can take a relatively simple copywriting assignment and turn it into a comprehensive, high-value platform delivery. And for PR firms that are launching these massive media campaigns, having an invisible engineering team ensures your client's web infrastructure can weather intense, completely unexpected traffic spikes without crashing. I mean, it literally elevates your production capabilities overnight.
Section 3. Data, Traffic, and Consultants.
So now let's shift gears and look at the other side of the spectrum, agencies driven by data, traffic, and high-level consulting. For search marketing firms, actually executing an SEO strategy often requires some pretty deep structural technical alterations. Think drastic page speed optimization or injecting schema markup. An external technical resource completely removes that bottleneck, doing the heavy lifting so your optimization strategies actually happen and happen fast. For paid media agencies, a slow production queue just burns ad spend. An agile white label team can handle all the landing page construction so your marketing specialists can focus purely on what they do best, scaling those budgets. IT consultants can seamlessly add modern, beautiful visual aesthetics to their robust security setups. And for fractional CMOs, this is huge. It turns your high-level strategic advice into an active fulfillment engine. You diagnose the problem, and boom, you immediately provide the engineering resources to actually fix it.
Section 4. How white labeling works. Let's move on and see how this actually builds day to day. We're going to demystify Viral Chili's highly structured intake workflow, and honestly, it is remarkably frictionless. Step 1. Your account manager simply submits the approved wireframes, visual style guides, and site mapping documents. Step 2. The developers review all that data and confirm a fixed execution cost. That is crucial because it means you know your exact profit margin before the work even begins. And then Step 3. Production begins immediately. There's no recruiting, no painful interviewing, no onboarding delays. It just happens. But of course, handing off work naturally brings up some hesitations. I mean, you are putting your agency's name on this final product, right? So you're probably wondering, what steps are actually taken to verify the code quality before it gets delivered back to my team? Well, professional providers don't just write some code and toss it back over the fence. They maintain totally dedicated quality assurance divisions. Every single website goes through a really rigorous testing process. They're doing cross-browser compliance checks to make sure it looks absolutely perfect on Chrome, Safari, Edge, whatever. They test mobile responsive layouts. They verify link integrity so there are absolutely no dead ends, and they conduct incredibly deep page speed performance analysis. The goal is to ensure a perfectly clean delivery for your client, meaning you don't have to waste time squashing annoying layout bugs at the 11th hour. Okay, here's another incredibly common question we see, especially from design studios. Can these external developers actually work with highly custom web designs, or are we just going to be forced into using rigid, boring templates? The answer here is a resounding yes, they can. A premium team like Viral Chili works with zero template limitations. They can seamlessly take your complex, custom design files, whether you've built them in Figma or anywhere in the Adobe Creative Suite, and literally transform them into highly optimized, fully responsive custom themes. Your precise artistic concepts are matched pixel for pixel. Essentially, you design the dream, and they build the reality. All right, finally, what happens after the site goes live? Because we all know a website isn't just a static brochure. It is living, breathing software. So how do we handle ongoing platform updates and security care plans without dragging our internal team right back into the weeds? Now, this is where the source material gets really compelling for your bottom line. Most established white label networks provide structured monthly maintenance packages, so they are the ones handling the core platform updates, the automated backups, and all that proactive security scanning. But here's the absolute magic of this setup. You get to package these technical optimization services under your own agency's brand. You apply a nice, profitable price markup, and you sell the whole shebang to your client as a monthly recurring care program. You're building this steady stream of profitable recurring revenue while your partner does literally all the heavy lifting on the maintenance. It's brilliant.
Section 5. Scaling without constraints.
And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate goal of adopting this decoupled operational strategy. When you finally recognize your team's core strengths and decide to outsource the heavy technical complexity, you fundamentally change the entire trajectory of your business. Just consider the sheer scale of the market here. WordPress powers over 41% of all active websites globally. That is massive. The demand for clean, enterprise-grade digital infrastructure is absolutely immense, and it is definitely not slowing down anytime soon. There's this huge piece of the pie just waiting for agencies that can reliably deliver technically sound websites. Look, managing an internal development pipeline introduces so much unnecessary financial risk, but tapping into an external engine, that allows you to capture this massive market demand safely and sustainably. I really want you to hear this quote directly from Viral Chili because it absolutely hits the nail on the head regarding the strategy we've explored today. Transforming your development workflow into a white-labeled asset protects your profit margins, removes resource limits, and gives your business the freedom to expand without constraint. The agencies that manage to scale sustainably are the ones that are proactive. They build robust external production systems long before their client pipelines ever become congested. So the crucial point I want to leave you with is this. Take a hard, honest look at your current operations. Are you proactively building these robust external systems right now? Or are you kind of just waiting for your pipeline to congest, crossing your fingers and hoping your internal team won't totally burn out when that next huge project lands? Decoupling execution from strategy isn't just some neat little efficiency hack. It is a fundamental growth strategy. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope these insights help you rethink your operational footprint and maybe open up some entirely new avenues for your agency's scale. Keep learning, keep optimizing, and we will see you in the next one.